Many black people in this day and age are saying that, hey, we're not black people. We're not African. We are indigenous to this land. I find that very, very odd because I'm trying to understand this whole movement as far as, hey, I don't want to be looked at as African. I'm not from there. I was born here in America. We were always here, and I never understood that. I've had people told me that I'm delusional and that I'm not from Africa. My family's not from Africa. We've always been here, so and so, blah blah blah. I even saw a comment where someone said that 85% of the black people in America are indigenous to this land. Huh. Very interesting, right? Well, I did my family history, and I've been doing it since 2013. And so it's been, what, 12 years that I've been doing my family history. And I've never run across anything that suggests that my family were always here. Everything that I've ran across always suggested my family came from Africa. I even have cousins within my DNA match list who are in Africa, who live in Africa. That means that we are closely related, basically. If they're in your DNA match list, that means that you're either related a little, further down the line, or they're close. You're closely related to that person. But either way, if you have African ancestry within your DNA match list, all of your cousins and stuff like that, that means that you guys share a common ancestor within the last maybe 300 years, depending on how far back they are, within the last 300 years. So that means that you're African. You have family that have come from Africa, and I have those all over my DNA match list. A lot of people from Africa who I've actually got in contact with, and their family, basically, they're saying that, well, they don't have any family that's in America, you know. So that's a telltale, basically saying that, hey, you actually do have some African ancestry within you. And I've spoke to plenty of people. I've done my grandmother's research. I've done my mom's research, my father's research. All of them lead back to Africa. Me myself, I might look like that I'm kind of mixed with some stuff, which I think mostly most Black Americans are mixed around and stuff like that. But some of us have a higher African DNA percentage than others. Mine, I've took my DNA test numerous on numerous sites. All of my DNA tests come back that I'm 90% African, which is way higher than average, because the average in America for the Black American, the average percentage that a Black American has of African DNA is 72.3%. Me, I'm at 90. My mom, she's just as light as I am. She's at 95. My grandmother, she's just as light as I am. She's at 97% African, you know? So our percentage of African is like way higher than normal, and a lot of people who think that they have Native American within their DNA, and their families told them, hey, yeah, we're Cherokee, we're Blackfoot, we are, Seminole, or whatever. A lot of people who actually say that, well, my grandparents told me this, my great grandmother told me that, blah blah. Everyone has that in their family, because it was the same thing in my family. That they told us, like, yeah, we have Native American in our family. Why? I'm thinking it's because some people might have had the long wavy hair. Well, Africans can have that too. Um, Stories passed down or whatever. But also, what people don't understand is that when you have the these records, okay, you have these records. You even have the dolls rolls and everything. You have a lot of people out there who actually put their name on those records so they can receive free benefits. The dolls rolls are basically the list back, way back when, saying that, hey, I'm Native American, and they put their information. It was a lot of white people that put themselves up there. It was some black people that put themselves up there and everything. There were also people back in those days who all the slaves who actually ran away, and they found settlement within the Native American population, and they eventually became the citizens of that nation, and some people will use that as saying that, well, I have pictures of, my grandparents or my great great grandparents in Native American garbs. That's proof that we're Native American. No, just like I said before, a lot of them either married into that population, or they ran away and they sought refuge in those populations, and and that's just how it was. And eventually they said that they were Native American. A lot of people said claimed to be Native American. Why? They didn't want to be identified with the black population, because to be identified with the black population was not a good thing back in those days. So a lot of people got their stories from that, and it's been handed down that, hey, yeah, we're Native American, blah blah blah. When the actual truth is that you're not Native American, but you just have those stories that's saying that, hey, we are. Although it's just that, some of that stuff just, happened back then or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people, black people, we are not. Mostly all of us, most of us have not been here before the transatlantic slave trade. Some people have, and even with those people, they're also African as well, because they sailed over here before that. So we got to stop this we are indigenous people and we've always been here type of stuff. And if people want to bring up some past history on that, I know there was an explorer back in the 1500s, and he came here and he wrote down what he saw. And some people misinterpret what he says, because he says that he's seen some people with dark skin. But the thing is that he said, I see the people with dark skin not like the Ethiopians, which were the Africans. He was like, they're not like the Ethiopians, but they just have dark skin. People will interpret that as saying, hey, see, he's saying that there's already black people here. No, he just said that they had dark skin, but they were unlike the Ethiopians. Okay? So, or the Africans. But yeah, we really gotta wake up and actually do our research and study this stuff, and not think that every single name that we might see on the Indian list, oh, that's my family member, because it's not. A lot of people had a lot of common names back then. Okay, a lot of common names. So I continue to do my research. When I find something, I research it and research it and read. I dig and dig and dig and dig to make sure that I know that this is the correct person that's within my family. This is the correct documentation that has to do with my family. I've seen so many times on other people's DNA lists, and sometimes I've messaged them about it and told them like, hey, that's not correct. This is actually what it is. A lot of times they'll change it, and sometimes they just ignored it. But I was like, yeah, that's not the this is the correct person. And I say that because they're a part of my family, for one, my distant cousin, and I knew that line that they have on their tree. They just came to the incorrect conclusion of it. So it does happen a lot, quite often. People find the wrong information for their family, and it's attached to the wrong thing. But yeah, we gotta wake up, y'all. Seriously. And I know this video is long as hell, but seriously, black people, come on now. We African.
Why are you not African? You're just only American?
Yeah, I'm American.
Okay, explain.
So my most recent descendants are literally from Central America and North America, Indigenous Black Americans. They have the same color, the same melanin content, but they are not from Africa. I can't name any country in Africa. What I'm saying is that if I take a test right now, I could say some Italian, some German, some Australian up in there, 13% Ghanaian, 19% Nigerian, like who knows and who cares? But what I'm saying is that my immediate ancestors are American. Oh, yeah. Mine.
Are they black?
They're black, but they're not African. So different. The whole thing about African booty scratchers, and even why Black Americans have been called African booty scratchers, is because the white people have classified us all as coming from Africa because we're all black. And that's where the whole falsified information has come, where we all come from the Atlantic slave trade and all the black people were just shipped here to this country and all over. That's not true. We were already here. We were already here lining up every part of the world.
But if what you're saying is true, then you are more Hispanic or Asian than you are black, because before the transatlantic slave trade, there was what they call Paleo Indian, which those individuals.
No, and once again, you're misinformed, and that's nice.
I'm not saying that's the only people that were here, but they have Paleo Indians, which the Aztec came from, which the Aztec, the Inca, those tribes came from what is called Asia to some extent.
What I'm saying is that with the transatlantic Atlantic slave trade, you've been misinformed to think that there were only, paleo, white colored Indians essentially that were here. That's not true. There were black people here, or as people say, the Moors or whatever you want to call it. There were black people here indigenously, like they were across the whole world.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kiss Global, and today I'm here with another mind-blowing video of black African, like black Africans are trying to say black Americans are not indigenous of the Americans, that they are not supposed to be called black Americans but Africans Americans. Guys, I've had more clips to the video and you've watched it. Then I'm gonna add more clips and stitches to this video. Then I'll come back with commentaries. And if you're coming across my page for the very first time, please do it to like, share, and subscribe for me. I beg you in the name of God. And credit goes out to the rightful owners of the clips and stitches I have added to this particular video. So guys, please do it to watch. I'll come back with commentaries. Thank you.
Not African American. He said Africans don't even F with us.
I think there's some truth into some of the things that he's saying about those that are in Africa really not liking us, making jokes about us being Yanks. It doesn't really mean much when you think about it.
If I got to go way over there for somebody to have an opinion of what I am, I'm good, Ocho. We all originated from Africa.
Right.
So they said African Americans because that's where you came from. So basically what Cam is saying, like, look, bro, we born here. So we should be black Americans. White people, they don't say European American.
Right.
They say Caucasian.
Stop calling yourself an African American. What the fuck do you have in common with these niggas over in the jungle? There's nothing in Africa that you have any connection to or even want. Why would I want to be an African American? I'm a fucking black American at the end of the day. Take pride in that. That's the most beautiful thing that you could ever have. I'm happy at the fact that my ancestors got on that fucking boat and that we're here today. Slavery was good. You know why? Because I exist today. Because I live in the most powerful fucking country in the entire world because of it. Yes, your ancestors, oh, they came on a boat. And I wonder, who sold those people over here? Was it just the white man who came and snatched you out of the jungle? No. Africans sold black people into slavery. They sold our ancestors to Jews and Arabs, and eventually to whites as well, which brought us over here to the United States. We always love to gloss over this part of history as if white people came and snatched black people out of the jungle. That's a fucking myth. This isn't Roots, which is a retarded story any damn way. Two of the biggest things that pisses me off when I hear black people talking about Africa. The first is a lot of these people who talk about Africa, they sit at the Marriott or near the embassy because they're too afraid because they got scared and spooked, or that's the closest thing that's got Hennessy and Black and Miles. They're not gonna fucking go and sit in the city in the jungle and in the river hut. They're not doing none of that shit. They not sitting with Mutombo and Jumbele.
Black American ancestors, the copper-colored Indigenous Americans, did not come from Africa at all. They were the master architects who built the pyramids on both continents long before there were any African dynasties. Africa learned civilization from Black Americans, not the reverse. Black Americans are the descendants of the original master builders, the ancestors who created the most advanced ancient civilizations. Then they spread that knowledge globally. We are the original Moors of Tamari or Turtle Island. We are the ancient Egyptians. We are the mound builders of Mississippi. We are the Olmecs, the Mayans, and the Aztecs. This gets so deep, we're just getting started, so follow for more.
If you take black people here in America and you do their DNA sample and it point back to Africa, what does that say? It says black people in America are Africans. Now, the argument is, were we brought here or were we already here? Did we bring ourselves here or did the white man bring us here? You see, when you say the white man brought us here, what you're doing is you're removing our ability to transport ourselves. You're saying, oh, we didn't know anything about boats. That's what you're trying to tell me. You're trying to tell me that we didn't know that there was a landmass here. Only the holy white man knew there was land to the west. But when you look at the holy white man, he said, when we got here, we met black people. Go look at the primary source. You got here, we met black people. We got the Caribbean, we met black people. You think the Caribbean is right next to America and they weren't in America? That's interesting.
I'm not an African American. I'm an American. I was born on American soil. But I did go back to the motherland, and I love it. and made millions going back to the motherland. But I was born in America. When the Europeans came to the Native Americans, well, they like to call them Native Americans, but the Indians' land, we don't call them European Americans. So I don't want to be called an African American. I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? You can call me a black American, but I'm an American. When I competed in the Olympics, they didn't say fighting an African American. They said that American that's fighting out of the red corner or out the blue corner. I love America. I love this country.
Why do black Americans say they're not African when they clearly are? Tell me, how are we African? Tell me, what makes me African? My family not born in Africa. My great-grandmother not from Africa. My great-great-grandparents not from Africa. Nobody in my family is from Africa that I can trace 300 to 400 years. Nobody. We keep records of who we are here in America. Tell me, how am I African? Now listen, I'm going to give you this. And I'm a thinking person, right? I look at things from both sides. And I do the comparison game. I look at Canada. I look at certain parts of South America. I look at all of the Caribbean islands. I look at Haiti. I look at the Dominican Republic. I look at the UK. I look at Australia. I look at all these places where there's mostly melanated black people at. And I can see African in them. I can see how they can be African. I can see why they might look at themselves as African, because they carry the African ways. I'm just being straight up, they do. They carry them African ways. Me as a black American, there's nothing African about me. Culturally, spiritually, ancestor-wise, none of that. There's nothing about me and a lot of people like myself that's African. And I'm gonna go a step further. This African theory thing, I'm done with it. I do not believe in this Africa that we all come from Africa now. I'm starting to lean towards what my brothers and sisters, my indigenous Indians, my black natives, the people that are aborigines on this land, I'm starting to lean towards them, what they say about this African theory thing. And I'm done with saying that we all come from Africa, and we do not. We don't think like y'all. We don't move like y'all. We're more innovative. You get what I'm saying? Like, we create things constantly. We're more progressive than the majority of the people around the world, yo. I'm just being straight up. How we think, how we live, how we move. Things that we have been through. The stuff that we've been through in America, and by us being the belly of the beast with the white man, no group in the world could overcome that. None. I see how things will happen to y'all countries when the white folks don't even really be there. They just have a puppet over there to do y'all dirty. And I just see how y'all can't recover. We dealt with the devil on our own, and we still resilient. We so resilient. People, white people, yo people, all groups of people got to use the bottom 5 to 10% of black Americans that do nigga shit. That's how great we are. Y'all gotta go to the negative of us. Cause y'all know if y'all go to the positive of black Americans, we'll run past y'all like Sakara Richardson in the Olympic trials, bro. So we're not near y'all, bro. Talk to the Caribbeans about being African, okay? Talk to the South Americans that are black about being African. Talk to the UK people about how they African. Don't talk to us about being African.
No, black Americans are American. They are not African. The vast majority of black Americans living here today are American descendants of slavery. And because of this legacy of slavery, their connections to Africa are so distant and they have been severed that they do not have any real connections to it today. Nationality-wise, culture-wise, and everything else, They are American, not African. In fact, even the concept of ethnicity, their ethnicity would be Black American, not some form of African. And no, race does not make them African. Race is a social construct, and it's a pseudoscientific one at that. Not to mention, all human beings have their origins in Africa, depending on how far back we go. So this entire concept of what we have to consider the blacks African is just racism. Black Americans are American just like I am an American. I am not a European American. I have literally no connections to Europe at all. I am American, and so are Black Americans. Quit trying to divide people by the color of their skin, and instead, let people identify as they please.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American.
Why is that?
I'm not African.
I am not an African. I am a Black American. What that means is that my entire family has come from America. I am the descendant of people that were slaves. That's what that means when I tell you that I am a Black American. That means that the people that have been in my family for generations built this country. That means that my grandfather, who served in World War II, that helped fight and defend this country, and was, by the way, denied GI Bill benefits because he was Black, is a part of the history of this country. I am not Haitian. I'm not Nigerian. I am not from any of these other countries. I am a full-blooded 100% Black American. And what that means is that I will speak on Black American culture in any way that I please, but what I will also do is I will not allow for it to continue to be co-opted by Africans who come here with so many more resources than your average Black American does, try to wrap themselves up in our struggle, our oppression, our history, and try to co-opt every space that we have built for ourselves, like they've done in the destruction of the Essence Music Festival. So don't try to discount what I say and try to pretend that I'm Haitian or I'm not American or whatever. No, I'm 100% Black American.
Welcome back, guys. From the clips and stitches I've added, you've seen where I'm trying to go to, and you see what I'm talking about. Like a lot of Africans don't believe the fact that Black Americans are not from African's country. They are coming out to say Black Americans are not from the United States, that they are not indigenous of United States, that they are indigenous of Africas, that they are their brothers and sisters that are being transported during the slavery, that they were being, that they are from different African country, that Black Americans are from different African country, and they were transported to the United States of America for slavery. That is during slavery. And you've seen a lot of videos where Black Americans are coming out to defend themselves, that they are not Africans, but they are Black Americans. I was just wondering why many African's country find it so difficult to believe that Black Americans are not from Africa, but they are from America. Black Americans are born in America. Their great-grandfather is in America. Their ancestors are from America. So I don't know why most Africans find it so hard to believe that Black Americans are not from Africa, but they are from America. I believe why a lot of them are saying they are not Black Americans, but they are African Americans. Africans that are coming out to say Black Americans are from Africa, that they are not Americans. I don't know why they said so, but they classify all whites. Like, as far as you are white skin, they don't, like, they classify them as this person is white. These particular persons, they are white. They come from the United States. They come from the US. But why do they find it so hard to accept the fact that Black Americans are from America? Like, they find it so hard. Like, they always argue this online. Like, they try to talk down on Black Americans. They always try to talk down on Black Americans. Even on their live podcast, you see them saying Black Americans, and even on comment sections. You see a lot of Africans talking about Black Americans, that they are Africans, they don't know where they come from, they are just claiming to be America. What Black Americans go through, many of us Africans cannot go through it. What Black Americans go through before they could answer that name, Black Americans, is something that many of us cannot go through. So let's just give them their credit. Like, you find it so hard to accept the fact that Black Americans says they are not from Africa. They are Black Americans. What is your business about it? How is it your concern if they say they are not from Africa? I don't know. They said they are not from... Like, these people are coming out to say, they say it every day. Someone that they gave birth to in America, that grew up in America, that spent all his life in America, where did you want him to say he's from? Where did you want him to say he is from? Are you his brother in Nigeria? Are you his uncle? Or you are his cousin on it? You guys should leave these people alone. They are not from Africa. They are Black Americans. Let it be. Leave them alone. You guys are trying to talk down on them, look down on them as if they are nobody. I don't understand. Like, it's not nice. You people have been saying this not today, for a very, very long period of time. Saying Black Americans are Africans. They should come back to their home. Should they come back to your home? Should they come back to your home? People that have never been to Nigeria before. People that have never been to any African country before. All of a sudden, you guys start claiming them that they are your brothers, they are your sisters, they are your niece, they look like Nigerians. Most of them look like Nigerians. I heard where they are saying many of them look like Nigerians. This one, what is your problem? People should leave them alone. Leave them alone. They are Black Americans, and that is what they will remain, whether you like it or not. You guys should stop hating on them. You guys should stop hating on them. Like, I've watched a lot of clips where they keep arguing these things. Black Americans are coming out to defend it, to talk about it. From the clips I've added, you've watched it. Black Americans, they are not taking those people for granted.